Hey guys, this is Jim, WT1W, and you're watching FEP Labs Radio. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. So I want to do a quick follow-up to the video I did on the Performance Z POTA array. We got it all hooked up and we received signals, and it worked flawlessly as far as receiving occurred. But what we did demonstrate in that video, of course, was that changing the switch on the actual controller box did change our reception characteristics. We boosted some signals while we attenuated others and so on. The problem I had, which I did not talk about in that video because I didn't really pay attention to it in that video. When I set it up, John Gendron, Performance Z Arrays, knows what he's doing with this stuff. And he tells me the 17-foot whip from alpha antenna is perfect for doing 20 meters. It should need zero tuning and work perfectly fine. I had meant to show you guys the SWR when I had one of the elements hooked up, and I didn't. And I thought about it after I had them both hooked up, and I didn't mess with it because I thought it should be fine. So I came in the shop here and we looked at the flex and we looked at signals and so on and so forth, and that works as advertised. The problem that I had that I did not show on camera was the connector did not seem to want to go on. The coax connector itself, this guy, did not really want to connect on here. Now what I did do before we went outside, and it was in the video, is I tested our continuity. So here's our ground. This nut is antenna. This should be center pin, right? Right here. And the whole reason that we have this washer is to isolate this from the rest of this unit so that our ground is not touching our center pin. And I checked it. And we went here, we touched the big nut, and here we have no continuity to the shield. We have no continuity on our ground stake. None of that. When I test the center conductor to that nut, we have continuity. Likewise, when I test the shield to all this, we have continuity. So I assumed, wrongly, that everything was copacetic. The problem that I got into was this. These connectors, and this is good coax. John made these. This was part of the kit. Our DX Engineering connectors. These are not Honest Fred's House of Fish Market and Connectors, Inc., right? Two problems with these connectors. They tend to not want to go inside the center hole. I mean, like they really, really, really don't. Like you have to put pliers on this thing and push real hard and completely. I'm pushing right now as hard as I can, and it's not going. And I thought, okay, well, maybe John got a little sloppy with his solder, but I'm looking at this connector and I don't see any reason that this wouldn't go on at all. So I just kind of went with the flow, jammed it as hard as I could, screwed the shield up, and got it to catch. And you can see here, it doesn't want to catch because it's still not in far enough. So I wiggled it some, spread them with pliers until the connector caught. All right. That let us receive signals just fine because you saw that. But what you didn't see, because I didn't think to do it for the video or I would have discovered the problem to begin with, was we had infinite SWR on 20 meters. As a matter of fact, we had infinite SWR from 160 all the way down to 10. It was horrible across the band. I mean, like above 10 SWR. The RigExpert said infinite. So who knows, who cares? Not tunable, right? I don't care what tuner you have, whether it's one of those MFJ 993s that can tune a nail, or a Elecraft tuner, or whoever's tuner, a flex tuner, it isn't going to tune that. And I assume it's because this thing is not making very good connections. So what we've got today, now I have to get this back out of here. What we've got today is I bought some new connectors. Now, the thing is, these come with this bracket kit. This is separate. This is the stake I'm using. This connector here comes with the bracket. This is one kit right there. So I went and found different connectors. And I also have a right angle one here too, but we'll take it out of the equation for now. And this is what I did to validate it was the connector problem. That goes into a random off-brand Chinese connector and screws on just bloody fine. And if you screw the shield the shell all the way back, you can see it's made it up completely. Works perfectly, mechanically perfectly. So it should be good to go. So that wasn't the problem. This is the new one. And as you can see, it goes in all the way. Screws in tight, good to go. So there's nothing wrong with these connectors. The whole entire problem is this dingus right here, this nut assembly piece. So what I'm going to do today in this video, and this will be not very long, we're going to swap this out, take this thing out, put this one in, and then we're going to go set up one of the masts and see what kind of SWR we have and see if that solved the problem. Because literally, if you've ever looked at the RigExpert, it was just a flat line across the top of the screen when I swept the SWR. When I did the multi-SWR across 5 bands at once, again, infinite is what the RigExpert said. So that is not right. Let's see if we can fix the problem. Okay, so these nuts have a slightly different layout than the old one, and I'm going to put a link to this one in the description below. When I was researching this piece, the whole bracket that I had bought, I did look and I saw that more than one person had complained that the PL259 would not screw on here properly because it's too tight. Possibly you could wiggle out the centerpiece a little bit, but I don't think it's worth it. These things are cheap enough. I believe this was like $25 for 2 of these, something like that. So this goes on a little differently. We have a large flat washer here on the base side. Then we have our nylon specific washer that fits in that hole to keep that pin centered. And then we have a lock washer. And I've just got this hand tight here so it doesn't fall apart. And if we test it now, here is our antenna element, this nut, and here's the center pin. We've got continuity. When we test the center nut and the shield, this thing won't stay still. When we test the center nut and the shield and the ground, nothing, all good. And again, center pin, that's good. So now if I touch the shield, obviously that all works, that works. And then if we touch the nut, nothing. So that is correct now. Again, a slightly different layout than we had before with this particular nut assembly. And these were kind of a pain in the butt to find because I didn't know exactly what to call this, but I found them. And again, that'll all be in the description below. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to grab up my radials and put them on here, grab the whip. We're going to go outside and jam this thing in the dirt and flip out our radials and then take a reading with the RigExpert and see what this thing looks like. Stick with me. Okay, I've got our mast in the ground. I've got the radials spread out. We have the feeder cable. This cable would go to the control box of the POTA array. All we want to do is check SWR now when I raise the mast up. So let's get the mast up and then see what we got. Okay, we've got our mast in place. The radial field is laid out. I have 4 sets of 5 radials each. All the radials are 2 meters in length. More would probably be better, but this is probably good enough for ham at this moment. So let's take a scan on this guy, and hopefully that will show up on the camera. So let's do a 4 and take a look at our 20 meter SWR. And we'll scan it again so you can see it live. And there's our dip centered damn close to 14,175. So let's change that range a little bit and tighten that guy up. And there we go. And that is plus or minus 3.7 kilohertz, 3750 kilohertz on either side. So that ain't bad at all. If we do the multi-function and sweep all our bands, function 7, go gadget go, and you can see 80 meters, not so much. At 14,250, we're getting 1.23, so that is outstanding. Tunable on 15 meters. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I appreciate you watching. If you would, make sure and give me a thumbs up. Click the subscribe button below if you're not subscribed already, and ring the bell. It's in the little doodly-doo over there, and that'll make sure you get notified whenever I post any new videos. Thanks for watching, y'all. 73. Have a good one.